The same parents can love two children equally, but each child may still experience a different childhood. One child may be calm, cautious, and sensitive. Another may be bold, loud, and constantly testing limits. One child may need hugs, reassurance, and reminders. Another may act independent, confident, and almost impossible to read. And many parents quietly wonder, did I do something different? Was I too strict with one child? Too soft with the other? Why are they so different if they came from the same home? Here's the reassuring answer. Difference between siblings is not automatically a sign of bad parenting. In fact, developmental psychology, behavioral genetics, and family research all point to the same idea. Children in the same family can be deeply different because they are not copies of each other, biologically, emotionally, or experientially. Let's break this down. First, children are born with different temperaments. Temperament means a child's natural style of responding to the world. Some children are more sensitive to noise, change, frustration, or new people. Some warm up slowly. Some jump into everything. Some recover quickly after disappointment. Others feel things intensely and need more help calming down. This is not just personality in the casual sense. Temperament has been studied for decades. The classic New York longitudinal study by psychiatrists Alexander Thomas and Stella Chess helped shape the idea that children show early differences in things like activity level, adaptability, mood, persistence, and intensity of reaction. Later work on temperament and goodness of fit built on this idea. Children do better when adults understand their natural style instead of trying to force every child to respond the same way. So, when one child melts down during transitions and another simply moves on, it may not mean one is bad and one is good. It may mean their nervous systems react differently. One child may need warning before change. Another may enjoy surprise. One child may feel overwhelmed in a busy birthday party. Another may become energized by the same environment. Same party, same parents, very different inner experience. Second, siblings are genetically related, but they are not genetic copies. Full siblings share about half of their genes on average, but each child receives a different combination from each parent. That different genetic mix can influence temperament, emotional sensitivity, attention, energy, learning pace, and how strongly a child reacts to stress. This does not mean genes decide everything. It means each child arrives with different starting points. Imagine two children in the same garden. They get the same sunlight, they get the same rain, but one is a rose and one is a sunflower. They may both be healthy, but they will not grow in exactly the same shape. Third, the same home is not always the same environment. This is one of the most important ideas in sibling psychology. In behavioral genetics, researchers talk about something called the non-shared environment. That simply means the experiences that make children in the same family different from each other. Robert Plomin and Denise Daniels wrote about this in the International Journal of Epidemiology, asking a powerful question. Why are children in the same family so different from one another? Their work highlights that many environmental influences are not shared equally by siblings. A child's birth timing, peer group, teacher, health, family stress during a certain year, and unique relationship with each parent can all matter. Think about it. The first child may have had parents who were new, anxious, and watching every milestone. The second child may have had parents who were more relaxed, but also more tired and divided. One child may have been a toddler during a calm season of family life. Another may have been born during a stressful move, financial pressure, illness, conflict, or big transition. Same parents, different chapter of the parent's life. And children are shaped not only by what happens, but by when it happens and how they experience it. Fourth, parents naturally change between children. Many parents are more nervous with the first baby. They may read more books, track every nap, worry about every cough, and feel pressure to do everything right. By the second or third child, parents may be more confident, but they may also have less one-on-one time. So the first child may experience more attention, more anxiety, and more rules. The younger child may experience more flexibility, more noise, and more competition for attention. This does not mean parents are unfair on purpose. It means parenting is not frozen in time. Parents grow, learn, get tired, heal, struggle, adapt, and change. A child is not only raised by the parents. A child is raised by the version of the parents who existed during that child's early years. That sentence matters a lot. Fifth, birth order may shape family roles, but it does not determine personality. This is where we need to be careful. Popular culture often says the oldest child is responsible, the middle child is overlooked, and the youngest child is playful or spoiled. But large research studies do not support simple birth order stereotypes. A major study published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences examined birth order and personality and found that birth order had little meaningful effect on broad personality traits like extroversion, emotional stability, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness. So we should not say your oldest is responsible because they are oldest, or your youngest is wild because they are youngest. A more science-safe way to say it is this. Birth order may influence family roles, expectations, and opportunities, but it does not lock a child into a personality. The oldest child may be asked to help more. The youngest may get more protection. A louder personality may get more attention. A quieter child may be trusted to be okay even when they still need support. These roles can shape behavior over time, but they are not destiny. Sixth, the parent-child fits can be different with each child. Some children feel easier to a parent because their temperament matches the parent's temperament. A calm parent may find a calm child easier to understand. A highly active parent may enjoy a highly energetic child. A parent who values structure may struggle more with a spontaneous child. A parent who is sensitive to noise may feel overwhelmed by a child who is loud and intense. This is called goodness of fit. It does not mean one child is better. It means the match between the child's needs and the adult style can either reduce friction or increase it. A child who is intense may need more co-regulation. A child who is quiet may need more gentle checking in. A child who argues may need firm boundaries with connection. A child who withdraws may need patience before they open up. The goal is not to parent every child exactly the same. The goal is to give each child what helps them feel safe, understood, and guided. Seventh, children may express emotions in completely different ways. One child may cry, shout, or slam a door when upset. Another may go silent. One may say, "You never listen to me." Another may say, "I'm fine," while clearly not being fine. Parents often notice the loud child first because the loud child disrupts the room, but the quiet child may also be carrying big feelings. They may just express them inwardly. This matters because emotional needs are not always visible. The child who reacts strongly is not always the only child who needs support, and the child who seems easy may not always feel easy inside. Eighth, sibling comparison can shape identity. Children are constantly asking silent questions. Who am I in this family? What am I good at? Where do I belong? Do my parents see me? When one child is called the smart one, another may stop trying academically. When one child is called the difficult one, that child may begin to believe conflict is their identity. When one child is called the responsible one, they may feel pressure to be mature all the time. Even positive labels can become cages. Research on sibling relationships and parental differential treatment shows that warmth, conflict, and differences in how siblings are treated are linked with children's emotional and behavioral adjustment. A meta-analysis in Clinical Psychology Review found that more sibling warmth, less sibling conflict, and less differential treatment were associated with fewer internalizing and externalizing problems in children and adolescents. That does not mean every difference in treatment is harmful. A toddler and a teenager should not have the same bedtime. A child with a medical need may need more appointments. A child struggling at school may need more help. Fair does not always mean identical, but children need to understand why differences exist. When they do not understand, they may translate difference into rejection. They may think, "My brother gets more freedom because my parents love him more," Or my sister gets more patience because she matters more. That is why parents can say, I love you both equally, but I may support you differently because you have different needs. That sentence can protect a child's sense of fairness. Ninth, favoritism is complicated and often unconscious. Most parents do not wake up and decide, I will favor one child today. But small patterns can form. One child may be easier to talk to. One may follow rules more quickly. One may remind the parent of themselves. One may trigger a parent's stress more easily. A 2025 meta-analysis published in Psychological Bulletin by Alexander Jensen and Mikkel Jorgensen-Wells looked at predictors of parental differential treatment. It found that factors like gender, birth order, temperament, and personality can relate to which children receive more favored treatment, although the effects are not the same in every family. The important point for parents is not shame, it is awareness. Ask yourself, which child do I correct the most? Which child do I assume is fine? Which child gets more eye contact? Which child gets more patience? Which child hears more praise? Which child mostly hears instructions? These are not questions for guilt, they are questions for repair. 10th, children also learn, think, and grow at different paces, but we should be careful with the phrase learning styles. Many people have heard that one child is a visual learner and another is an auditory learner. The popular learning styles theory says children learn best when teaching is matched to a fixed style. But a major review by Paschler, McDaniel, Rohr, and Bjork in Psychological Science in the Public Interest found that strong evidence for that kind of learning styles matching is lacking. So instead of saying this child is only a visual learner, it is safer to say children have different strengths, preferences, attention spans, confidence levels, and learning paces. One child may need movement, another may need quiet. One may understand quickly but rush. Another may take longer but remember deeply. One may ask questions out loud, another may need time to think privately. These differences are real, but they should not become fixed labels. 11th, sibling rivalry is often about identity, attention, and fairness. When children fight, it may look like they are arguing over a toy, a seat, a snack, or who got the bigger slice. But underneath, the real question may be, do I matter as much? Do you see me? Is there enough love for me too? This is why sibling conflict can become more intense when one child feels compared, ignored, replaced, or treated unfairly. Parents do not need to eliminate every sibling argument. Conflict is part of learning relationships, but children do need help learning repair. They need words for feelings. They need boundaries around hurtful behavior. They need chances to be seen as individuals, not just as the older one, the baby, the loud one, or the difficult one. So what can parents do? Start with one powerful shift. Do not ask, why can't this child be more like their sibling? Ask, what does this child need that is different? The sensitive child may need preparation. The active child may need movement. The cautious child may need time. The intense child may need help calming. The independent child may need connection that does not feel intrusive. The quiet child may need you to notice what they do not say. The child who pushes back may need firm limits and more respectful choices. The child who always behaves may need permission to be imperfect. Different children do not need a different amount of love. They need love translated in different ways. And here is the final message. Two children can come from the same parents and still become very different people, because development is not one simple formula. It is genes, temperament, timing, family roles, sibling dynamics, parent-child fit, peer experiences, stress, support, and the private meaning each child makes from all of it. So if your children are very different, it does not mean you failed. It means you're raising two separate human beings. Your job is not to make them match. Your job is to know them deeply, to guide them fairly, to avoid labels, to repair when you get it wrong, and to make sure each child feels, I am loved for who I am, not for how much I resemble my sibling.